Yeah, I did. Finally.
Bone is a poor alternative.
Always trust your spirit. Heart and mind as one.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
We have learned as much as we have suffered.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Challenge what you know.
Minions have spawned.
We must all make our choices. Two paths and made another between. Indecision is failure. Lies within. Never again.
An enemy has been slain.
As Ionia changes. We must all make our choices. Never be changed. Never again.
An enemy has been slain.
We must all make our choices. Never fear. I have seen two paths and made a choice between. Never again. We have learned as much as we have suffered. Challenge what you know. As I live,
Killing spree. Shut down. An enemy has been slain.
the answer lies within. My spirit is unstoppable.
An enemy has been slain.
Heart and mind as one. Never again will I sit idle.
Enemy has been slain. Enemy has been slain.
My spirit is an unquenchable fire. Never fear change.
Has destroyed a turret.
Light so must I. The answer lies within.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
My spirit is unquenchable fire. Never fear change. We have learned as much as we have suffered. Never falter. Now we prove our courage.
Has destroyed a turret. An enemy has been slain.
I have seen two paths and made another between. We must all make our choice. Never fall. As Ionia changes, so never again.
Killing spree. An enemy has been slain.
Partners as one. Never fear change.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
I have
An
seen
enemy has been slain.
as I
Has destroyed a turret.
my spirit is an unquenchable fire. We have learned as much as we have suffered. Never fear change. I have seen two paths and made another between.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
Never again will I sit idle. We must all make our choices. My spirit is an unquenchable fire. Never again will I sit. Focus. I have seen two paths and made another between. My spirit is an unquenchable fire.
An enemy has been slain. Shut down. Double damage. Killing spree.
Heart and mind. Never fall.
Shut down. Your team has destroyed an inhibitor.
We must all make our choices.
All you have to do is research the name.
Never fear. The answer lies within. Challenge what you know. We have learned as much as we have suffered. again, Goliath.
Executed.
We must all make choices. Hear thee, heart and mind as one. As Ionia changes, so must we. The answer lies
An enemy has been slain. Double kill. Quadra kill. Ace. Your team has destroyed an inhibitor. Your team has destroyed a turret. Executed. An enemy has been slain.
That was the original children stuff. He also played, what was that? Clarabelle Clown or something.
Hey, what's going on, man? It's your boy Lil Dicky, aka Mr. Leftward Sloping Penis. I got a story for y'all, man. Peep this. Yes, sir. Alright, let's go. Now I've been dating this girl named Katie, she hot as hell. Okay. And her body crazy, vagina shaving, and it don't smell, and I don't fall for chickens, but this one a little different by the sickening. Plus she really good at making breaded chicken. Got me thinking she the one, man. Even fully close, shot it really fun, man. Get a lot of hoes, but none of those come close. I swear it's the most that I felt so damn exposed. Oh yeah, there's one more thing, and I know this shit gonna sound insane, but I still haven't hit it. I admit it, I wish I was kidding. Never been up inside before because she's only fucked one guy before. And no, I really wanna point this, or she my sweetie 3.14. So I'm staying patient and masturbating, and now my heart is sorta racing, cause she said tonight will be the night we do some fornicating. Hell yeah, I'm down, I'm about to go all out. I'm gonna pound that crazy like an elaborate black man handshake. But on the way to the crib we pass this kid, and he seemed to know who Katie is. So I say, who this? And she say, Dickie, this is my ex-boyfriend Jay. Usually don't wanna be the jealous type, but as I'm looking at this dude I can't believe my eyes, cause he's the best looking guy that I've seen in my whole life. He's got the thickest head of hair, chiseled jaw, and egregious bod. Man, it's the closest thing I've seen to a Grecian god. And now I'm looking at my chick cause his dick's been inside her. Fuck that. Oh damn. Man, this is crazy, I can't believe this guy used to fuck my lady. I bet he left that pussy ravaged like Haiti. Katie's hugging and squeezing the shoulder blades, and I'm bugging and queasy, this ain't okay. And then they say, let's get drinks, so I say, okay, even though I was about to get laid. And this motherfucker look like Ashton, combined with a little Hugh Jackman. In other words, he's so damn attractive, so damn tan, he gotta have a little black. And I'm now in the back with him, sipping on some yak with him, and he paying for it all, he invests my back in. I'm acting like I ain't distracted, but I'm reenacting him and Katie banging. And now I'm feeling pissed, so I go and take a piss midstream. I look left and guess who it is. And I had to see, and I was mad discreet, and I got on my tippy toes and took a little peek. Oh my God, Becky, look at that cock. And I usually don't wanna be the jealous type, but as I'm looking at his dick, I can't believe my eyes, because he's got the biggest cock that I've seen in my whole life. And now I'm staring at this dude's soft dick with a lot of hate, because the shit is plus 8 like John and Kate. And I don't know if I can date my girl after tonight. Oh man, I don't know what to do. Dude's dick is really huge. I didn't realize a penis could be so smooth. I know she's missing that my penis isn't that. I'm looking closer, I think that his dick has abs.
Six-pack on a dick.
Now what the fuck is that?
It's so long and thick.
It's like a punching bag. I'm saying it's so shaven, head is amazing. Got my dick looking like a raisin. Skin tone insane, man. He's hung like Saddam Hussein. It's crazy. What the fuck should I do? He got a Roos Chris dick and mine's a drive-through. I think it's time to tell Katie my goodbyes, cause I simply can't survive after seeing what was in between his thighs. So I tell her that this dude's got a dick that I don't comprehend. I had to move my neck to see it end to end. I mean, the physics of his dick just don't make any sense. And I think it's for the best if this comes to an end, because the sex with him must have been the best. And I would say let's just be friends, but I think I would just think about his dick all the time. So goodbye. Then she told me, Diggy, I don't really know what to say, because I dated this dude in the 2nd grade. So I don't know about his dick. Now let's go home and get you laid. And then I I took her to my crib and you know that we barely slapped. And I gave her an O like I was selling crack. And when I came, I pulled out and nutted all over her left thigh. Oh, damn.
Finally. You need a website. Why not do it yourself? With Wix, you can create your own professional website. Choose from hundreds of templates.
The BenQ Zowie Celeritas 2 uses an optical switch, which they seem to have adjusted to feel most like Cherry MX Red, so there's no tactile bump or click. And now you can have an old BenQ Zowie setup, except for headphones, but maybe that's coming next. And here's what that looks like. BenQ Zowie XL2730 monitor, Kamade mouse bungee, FK2 mouse, GSR pad, and the Celeritas 2 keyboard. Clearly they're going for a red theme, which is good if that's what you want, but I encourage companies to let us define our setups with the LEDs, so RGB is better, and if not RGB, then white. The keyboard does have per key lighting, and you'll notice they resemble the Cherry MX design. Same with the stabilizers, which do a good job of preventing the keys from rocking. They also have a lower actuation point, meaning you don't have to press the key in as far before it registers. That point is about here, as you can see by the movement on the screen. Whether or not that's any kind of advantage, some say it is, but I really can't tell the difference. According to the website, another advantage of the optical switch is meant to be that it avoids double key presses. Not that I have a problem with that on any other keyboard anyway. So in actual use, what is the advantage of the optical switch? The answer can be found with the sound. On the right, I have a keyboard using Cherry MX Red. I'm going to lightly press in a key on each so you can hear the difference. The Cherry MX Red sounds and feels scratchy compared to the optical, which makes no sound on its way down. Not that I can hear anyway. It's definitely the smoothest I've ever used. There is a ping sound though, which is probably from the iron spring mentioned on the website. They say it allows for each keystroke to be executed with consistent force, and it improves the durability. So here's a typing sound test, because while the keystrokes are smooth, obviously it still makes a sound when they bottom out. Spacebar is fairly loud, there's a hollow sound to all the keys, and there's a bit of a rattle. If I run my hand over it like this, maybe you can hear what I'm talking about. Here's what it sounds like on the other keyboard. In my opinion, that's a lot better. So the typing experience, while very smooth, does have a bit of a cheap feel to it, and the feel of the keycaps is a bit powdery, but they seem like a similar thickness. The quality just doesn't feel as good. The rest of the keyboard has a nicer feel, but unfortunately seems to pick up on fingerprints a lot, as does the spacebar. On the base there's no cable management or stands, just some rubber feet to prevent it from sliding. I think they were going for an old school design where it's just slightly raised. Speaking of older designs, the enter key is the large one, which means they had to move the backslash. There is no software, but doing the usual test to see how many keys I can hold down at once. The answer is probably all of them, if I could actually hold them all down. So that's all good. There is also a function key to use with the F keys as media keys, and to change the brightness level. To enable Windows lock, you just hold down function and then press the Windows key that has control on it. So when in gaming mode, it should just act as another control key. Caps lock and numlock go white when active, and because of that, directly above numlock is empty. Kind of wasted in my opinion. That could have been used for dedicated media keys. And I guess that's something confusing about this keyboard. Zowie are known for keeping things simple, and it is, it's just a keyboard. But while there's no wrist rest, it has a lot of trim around the edges. I think a lot of people want to 10 keyless without much trim, keeping the keyboard size at a minimum. Not that this is a bad way of making a keyboard, but I did expect Zowie to fill that void on the market. I guess their focus was in making a smooth switch, which they definitely succeeded in. Now here are some highlights while I give my conclusion. So the switch is really smooth, and that's great while typing, but the rattle really doesn't do the quality justice. That's something I hope they improve in the future. Overall, it's a relatively quiet and nice typing experience. It functions well in game, but then so do most boards, and I do like the idea of having an all matching setup. That said, when it comes to keyboards, I either go really big or really small. So this isn't quite for me. While it's a very good board, it just doesn't suit my needs. And that's what you need to consider when buying a keyboard. Does it suit your needs? Do you think it's going to be worth it? Do you care that much about a smooth switch? Because I think the selling point here is going to be the switches. So yes, it's really good, the switch is really smooth, but is that enough to make you want to buy it? It's a very personal thing, so as always, I'm going to leave it up to you, because you need to decide what's going to be right for your setup. So I hope that helps. Special thanks to Zowie for sending this out for a review. I'll leave the usual links in the description if you want to help support the channel. Like this video, and I'll catch you in the next. The Cooler Master Master Mouse S unfortunately came with a cable that was not smooth. They've been working hard to get that fixed, and now we're finally seeing the updated copies. This is one of my most anticipated mice, because I felt I could aim so well with the shape. It's a small to medium mouse, and has a lot of the right features. Here's something interesting though. It only weighs about 93 grams, which is fine, but it feels a little unbalanced. Someone said there's a weight inside, so I opened up one of the copies with a bad cable, and sure enough, there it is. A 13 gram weight added for no apparent reason. So we could have a roughly 80 gram small to medium mouse, but someone was told that heavier mice are better. This seems to be really common among people who don't play first person shooters, so don't hate them for it. It's just market research. I don't think the weight should be in there, and unfortunately, you have to destroy the mouse feet to get to the screws. So it would be nice if they included a replacement set. Also, you only have to take off the back feet to open it up. I have to say, without the extra weight, it feels even better. So I've let Cooler Master know this, and hopefully they change it in the future. I guess that's the main message in this review. Cooler Master have a winning shape and a potentially great mouse here. It's just not quite ready yet. There are also quality control issues too. At the back of the mouse here, it's smooth on the other copies, but both new copies they sent me have this slight ledge, because this panel isn't fitted correctly. Again, we could fix that by opening it up. But I really like this mouse, and a major reason is the shape. Here's a quick tour so you know why. It's an ambidextrous design with buttons on the left side only, and each side has the right shape. They have a horizontal curve for the thumb or a finger rest, and there's a slight vertical curve to assist with picking it up. The back is rounded and comfortable. Here's a look at the other side, and the mouse feet are fairly smooth, but that bottom edge can scrape a bit at times, depending how you angle it. The good news is it might just be this batch, and it hasn't actually affected my gameplay. And also, the buttons have some nice comfort grooves. It has a gradual slope, and the hump is more toward the back. The measurements are 5.6 cm at the fingers, by about 11.6 for the total length, and the height is around 3.5. I think this is close to ideal for my hand size of about 18 by 9 cm, but it could work for palm grip below 17 cm, claw grip between 15 and 19.5, and fingertip between 16 and 20. Here's what it looks like next to an FK2 and Death Adder, so you can get an idea of the general size of it. Moving on to the buttons, here is a listen to the clicks. Left and right have a good amount of resistance. They feel good with a nice snap, but not too loud. The wheel is harder to press in, but has a comfortable click. And scrolling up and down, it has noticeable steps, but is also pretty smooth. There is a very slight loose feel to it, but this is one of the better scroll wheels that I've used. The side buttons feel cheap and plasticky, but they're smooth and don't have much travel, so they're good enough. And the DPI button is thin and out of the way, no accidental clicks. In the latency testing, neither test is accurate, but together they give a good indication, and it appears they're similar to the G4 03, but maybe with a slight delay. So that's a good performance. Checking the 3330 sensor, which is meant to be a downgraded 3360, it performs well in rocket jumping, and I can't make it spin out even throwing the mouse as fast as I can. And even in the tilt slam test, I can't get it to spin out. This is one of the few sensors that can handle this, so even a downgraded 3360 is still excellent. Zooming in for the sniper test, it tracks pixel by pixel and it does it smoothly. Tested at 400 and 1600 DPI. I don't have an accurate acceleration test, but this appears to have none. The liftoff distance set to low is under 1 DVD on cloth and hard pads, and set to high it's 1 DVD on cloth and hard pads. There's no delay that I can feel, and testing the 360, it's the same as the G4 03. In the line tests, no jitter, no angle snapping and no skipping, but the liftoff movement is a little exaggerated, especially considering how low the liftoff distance is. For the build when tapping and shaking it, there is some slight sound caused by the scroll and something else, so it's not perfect, but it's not too bad either. The materials are a smooth plastic. I think they could actually find better plastic, but it's decent. And the cable is 1.8 meters long, and now smooth, which was the main thing. It's usable, but unfortunately it is pretty tight, so it will take some time to get set up. After a while, it wasn't bothering me in game. Still something they can work on though. In the software you can change what the buttons do with a range of options, including the usual mouse and keyboard functions, multimedia and macro, and also rapid fire for keyboard and mouse. The macro editor seems versatile, and records mouse functions as well as keyboard. Also with the Storm TX functionality, you can bind a button to hold in, which then changes what the other buttons do. Great for doubling the amount of commands on the mouse. It's RGB and the colors seem quite accurate. The transition is smooth and I have to say it looks great on the mouse. For DPI you can go from 100 to 7200 in steps of 50, and of course the usual features as well as liftoff distance. You can also surface tune to your mousepad. In conclusion, this is getting so close to being my personal favourite. There are so many things to like about it, and I'm really happy to see Cooler Master going in this direction. And while it's a relatively cheap mouse, I would be happy to pay more for it if they could fix the issues, remove the weight press from the top, so we don't need extra mouse feet, and make the cable more flexible. I will say that I told them not to worry about flexibility so much, as it was the smoothness that made it unusable. But of course, flexibility is still something we want. And then lastly, just upgrade the overall quality of materials and the build. We should have an amazing mouse. The shape is very good, the buttons and scroll feel good, the sensor performs like a 3360, and the weight is good despite having the unnecessary weight inside. And best of all, I put it against the FK2, which is my main mouse at the moment, and I think I hit better shots with it. I can barely tell the difference in aiming ability, but I just feel a bit more in control of it. So even in its current state, this is still one of my favourite mice. I love using it and I play very well with it. I can recommend it, but please be aware it's not perfect. Great mouse, but like most, it could be better. The other problem right now is that the old stock with the unusable cable would still be out there. Hopefully by the time you're watching this, you can get one with a smooth cable. Which would I choose between it and the FK2? For aim, the slight advantage goes to this, so I guess the answer is this, but for comfort and quality, the FK2 is better. I'll leave it to you to decide what's important. Hope that helps. Special thanks to Cooler Master for sending these out for testing and review. I'm really looking forward to seeing the
Gamers come to us because they want to know how to get the best performance possible out of their games.
Hi, my name is Zai. I've played Quake for 18 years and counting, and I've reviewed over 50 gaming mice. Right now you're watching some highlights using the Cooler Master Master Mouse Pro L. This is an interesting mouse because if we look at the 4 main points, it has a top optical sensor in the 3360, on-run switches with a good amount of tension on the buttons, it's a safe ambidextrous shape with buttons on both sides, and it doesn't weigh too much over 100 grams. The problem with the mouse is it should have been better. In fact, this should have been a top 10 recommendation. I'll explain why as I give you the details of the mouse. It's still quite good, but I hope Cooler Master takes what I say on board and makes the changes for the next version. To begin, this is what you get in the box, some extra panels and a shell. I'll get to that later. Here's a look at the shape so you know what we're talking about here. As I said, it's ambidextrous and a safe shape, with plenty of room for your fingers, a groove for your thumb and fingers on the other side, and a ledge to assist with picking it up. It even has some nice finger grooves. 3 medium mouse feet that glide smoothly, all very good so far. The weight is a little questionable, at about 107 grams. But here it is next to some other mice. Because it's in the medium to large category, it's not too bad. I'd say it should be 100 grams though. That would be the optimal weight, and the weight distribution feels more toward the back, but it's fairly balanced. You'll note that the button slope is gradual, and the hump is fairly central, and it's about 3.5 centimeters high. The grip width is fairly narrow at about 5.7 centimeters, and the base length is about 11 centimeters. Very close to the 2:1 ratio. The Cooler Master Master.
He was a Navy SEAL. And it's kind of with Lee Marvin and Bob Keesha in there. Lee Marvin was a tough guy actor who is actually very non-intimidating. That's true. That's right. But he did fight with Bob Keesha when he was sergeant.
That's what they call fake two. But look at how long the camping on that was.
I had somebody with sweater. Headline. That his mother knitted his face. That's why he was
Oh, look at that.
I had to take him off. Boy, that was hard.
Look at that.
Yeah, you know what? You just make it so. Okay, I'm done.
Oh, Anna. Yeah.
Not this. Or God doesn't have an opportunity to do it. Yes, and reading the Lilies on that Captain and Taylor and Mum. And maybe some